I believe that it is far better to find that security in the sort of companionship and mentoring that does not transgress one's sexual boundaries, especially for young, vulnerable women whose patternings of affection are just being formed. In the cultural situation that we find ourselves in at the start of this new century, children and adolescents are taught in some public schools that you were born this way. Let me place a vignette before you, a true story that takes place in Berkeley, California, 2001-2002. Two girls, who for our purposes I'll call Janet and Janie, begin their freshman year at Berkeley High School. Like all freshmen at Berkeley High, they are required to take freshman core, which consists of two courses, English and Identity and Ethnic Studies. The first required book that both girls will read in freshman core is Coffee Will Make You Black, the sexually explicit coming out story of a black lesbian. During the course of the school year, both their English teacher and their identity and ethnic studies teachers will come out to them as self-identified homosexuals, one as a gay man, the other as a lesbian. In addition, the curriculum will include a variety of guest speakers who are self-identified gays, lesbians, and bisexuals who will advocate for the normalizing of such identities into society. Now, both of these girls are 14. Both of them are short. Both of them have long, unkempt hair. Both of them are lacking in simple social skills. Both of them wear big, baggy clothes over their developing yet overweight bodies. And by mid-spring, both of them begin to wonder if they are bisexual. Boys seem to prefer the girls who look like Britney Spears, so maybe they weren't meant to be in relationships with boys. They cling to each other as a safe harbor against all the changes around them and in them, against all those other girls who seem to be moving on toward young adulthood, against all those boys who have teased them about being fat and unattractive. For a wide variety of reasons, they simply do not have the internal resources to take the next developmental step. And now they've learned there isn't another step to take. If 7 or 8 years down the road they decide to make a commitment to one who is their mirror image, how would the church ritualize that? How could the church bless that? Would it be good for the sake of the world to bless such a union? Or would it be good for the sake of the world to bind together two women who are incest survivors? Frankly, it would be cruel and hateful to all the generations of young women and young men yet to come. Since the American Psychiatric Association's politicized declassification of homosexuality as a disorder 20 years ago, the church needs to be the voice of hope, calling into question yet another human folly. The word that we mostly receive from the media these days is that sexual identity is only a matter of your DNA. The GLBT, that is gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender lobby, knows that there is far more to it, But they also know that the quickest way to get the general populace to support them is to claim that it is solely genetic. And then how could one disagree? The argument the GLBT lobby places before us is, how could the church not bless such unions if they are biologically predetermined? If they are a matter of living out God's intentions for a person whose affections have always been for a member of the same gender. So now let us turn for a moment to male homoeroticism, male homoerotic behaviors, and ask if they sanctify life and how the church might ritualize these pairings. Just as sexual expression blossoms between a wife and a husband, leading to a lovemaking that includes intercourse, erotic expression between two men leads to anal sex. That is, one man's penis is thrust into another man's anus. That which is capable of bearing life is inserted into the place of decay and death. Just as some young women seek the missing maternal in the body of another woman, here a man seeks to gain the missing masculine as he penetrates another man. His need for the unconditional male love that is necessary for growth into mature manhood comes at the cost of self-degradation, as it is sexualized through male-male intercourse. Having anal intercourse with another man will not give him that which he needs to grow into a mature man, and through the particularities of the homoerotic physical encounter, he will be diminished even more. This is reinforced when he is on the receiving end, for the domination of another man is now internalized, and the maleness given in God's image to all men is perverted in his body. Unlike Schifrin and Erdahl, I can find no aspect of this physical encounter that is life-giving. All of us have masculine and feminine dimensions to our personalities. But have you ever noticed the caricature of women by some men who engage in sexual acts with other men? Femininity is often camped up, but it always carries the male distortion of the feminine in its expression. An effeminate gay man really isn't like a woman, and so his actions and demeanor are like a reflection in a carnival mirror, where certain aspects of femininity are blown out of proportion and others are masked. Despite his allowing another man to penetrate him, he is still a man, not a woman, and his body was not made with a womb that receives and returns life with joy. What are two men seeking in asking the church to bless a relationship that expresses itself in an erotic behavior that is diminishing to both of them? With wisdom and with compassion, the church needs to respond in a way that helps them move away from such behaviors to a place where they can find a true male identity, an identity that gives them the resources and courage, and it takes a lot of courage, to love one who is truly other, that is, a woman, and in so doing, they will at last receive their own masculinity as a gift.